What is good, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Daniel and I go by Io, and my goal is to impact the world with music and to inspire and teach others to do the very same thing. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 different ways that you can make money as a music producer. Now, maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you're trying to figure out, all right, I've figured out these skills of how to produce music because I've been making music for myself for so long, and now I want to find a way to monetize them. Well, here are 5 really good ways that you can create a full-time income from music production. The very first way that we're going to look at is through YouTube. You guessed it, this platform right here. Now, through YouTube, there are several different methods that you can follow to grow an audience, to monetize that audience, and to make some money making some music. The first thing that you can do is you can grow a type beat channel. Basically, on that kind of channel, you post niche types of beats for a lot of upcoming underground rap artists, R&B artists, etc. And you rank in YouTube search with those artists as they grow, and you increase the popularity of your page. A couple of people who have done this very successfully are Dilly and Rujay. Go ahead and check out their channels if you haven't already. They're both very incredible creators. They have a lot of beats that they've posted over the years, and they've grown their channels very successfully. Now, with this method, based on my research and what I've seen into looking into these channels, you really do, like I said earlier, have to start with niche artists, niche music. It's much harder to rank in YouTube search if you're making type beats for big artists like Drake, for example, or Future, because there's already so much traffic in that area and it's really hard to break through all that noise. But what both of them have said is that it's much better for you to find small upcoming artists that are easier to find that target market and make content around that. And as those videos start to gain traction and your page starts to grow in popularity, then you can start targeting bigger names like Drake. Another type of channel you can try to create in this platform is a music production / education type of channel. Those are also extremely popular, and there's always space in that realm for YouTube channels. There's a lot of people who are trying to learn how to create music, and there's a lot of people who are sharing their knowledge on how they have created music themselves. One person who heavily inspired me coming up as a producer was Andrew Huang. He makes a lot of incredible content. It's really knacky, it's very geared to his personality. He makes a lot of really interesting stuff, and it's extremely educational as well. And so there's a lot of channels like that that have grown in popularity and have gained a massive audience, and it's very possible to do the same thing yourself. Another type of production / music channel that you could create is just one that's purely entertainment. A couple of examples are Davey504 and Rumi Official. Both of them make incredible content. It's very entertaining to watch. I've watched several hours of content from both of them, and they're really fun to watch. They're really entertaining to watch, and it all revolves around music production or playing an instrument, and it's really cool, and there's a lot of space for a lot of people to still get into that realm as well. Now, within the YouTube space, there's multiple ways that you can get revenue. You can either make revenue through AdSense, Google AdSense, of course. There is a threshold that you need to reach in terms of watch hours and the audience size in terms of subscribers before you can monetize your channel. But once you surpass that, the content that you post is evergreen and will always be making you money for as long as those videos are up. Aside from AdSense, you can always partner with other companies and do brand deals and things like that. A company may sponsor you to review an audio interface, for example, or a new type of guitar pick, or whatever it is that your niche is. And of course, there is no shortage of partnerships that you can do with companies after you start to grow your channel as well. Another very popular way that you can create an income as a music producer is through DSPs, or digital streaming platforms. What a lot of producers will do is that they will directly release the beats that they have created. Instead of trying to sell them to an artist, they will directly upload them to Spotify. An example of this is Eldre. He makes incredible lo-fi music. He makes very popular lo-fi music. A lot of his stuff has blown up very heavily on TikTok and on Instagram and on the different social media platforms, and a lot of those songs he puts directly on Spotify, and they get millions upon millions of streams, and that has created a very healthy income stream for him. And he's not the only one that does that. There are many producers who just create instrumentals and upload those directly to Spotify, because there's a lot of demand for that kind of music and for that kind of background music. Like study music is extremely popular, or sleeping music is extremely popular, and it's definitely worth looking into both of those realms. Another thing that you could do is you can actually co-release songs with artists. So instead of just releasing the song and it being under your name as a producer, what you could do is actually upload that song with a producer, make the track for that producer, and when they put it out under their name, they list you also as like a featured artist, and you can split royalties for those songs. One person that does that a lot is Beautiful Beats, and he makes quite a bit of extra income on the side passively from the songs that he's worked on for other artists. Another very popular thing that you can do is you can just make custom tracks and sell those directly to artists. That's something that I myself do pretty frequently. That's a thing that Beautiful Beats does very frequently as well. It's really cool because it gives you the opportunity to actually build those relationships with artists, and you can, from there, create music that they love, something that is custom made to their sound and to what they're going for as an artist. And oftentimes those clients can be repeat clients, and so you can be making songs for them or for, several artists at a time over the course of several months and several years. If those relationships are fruitful, they will keep on giving. The third thing that you could do as a music producer to make money is you can sell sample packs. Now, there's a lot of people who've sold sample packs. There's a lot of people who do sell sample packs. It's kind of a little bit of a saturated space, but the beauty in music production is that you always need new sounds. As a producer, I'm always looking for good sample packs. I'm always looking for good melodies. I'm always looking for good drum sounds and good drum hits and drum loops, etc. And so there's always going to be a market for really good, well-crafted sample packs. Now, this method does take a little bit of time, but I definitely think it's extremely worth doing. It feels very satisfying to do it. And again, just like videos that you post on YouTube and songs that you put on streaming platforms, sample packs are also evergreen content that once they're there, they can continue to make you money as long as they are live and active. I actually just made my own very first sample pack just a couple of months ago. It's called Guitars Volume 1. It's available on my website, iosoundstudio.com. Check it out. It's 12 guitar melodies and they all sound really great. I've already used a couple of them in custom beats that I've made myself that are also available on my website. Check them all out. They sound really great and it was a lot of fun to make. It stretched me creatively, and if you have not made a sample pack yourself, I highly encourage you to do it. Not only do you have the ability to make those samples and sell that pack to other producers, but you can also then go back to those samples and use them for inspiration for beats of your own. It's a really great idea, and they will, again, always be making you income as long as you keep them live on your website. And fifth and finally in today's video, the last way that you can make money as a music producer is through beat stores. Now, of course, you can either set up your own beat store, or you can go through something like BeatStars, which is extremely popular amongst producers. If you choose to create your own beat store, there are a lot of upsides, but there are also some downsides, of course, as well. Some of the upsides to creating your own unique beat store is that, of course, you have complete customization. You can make it look however you want it to look, and it can represent your brand very well and be cohesive with the rest of your content across social media platforms. And of course, also, you can make your own terms. So instead of it being some sort of default royalty percentage that the store that you're going through already automatically takes from the money that you make, you can bypass that. And there's no one else reaching in the pot for the money that you generate through your store. And also on top of that, you can make your own royalty percentages a lot easier than if you were going through something like BeatStars. The upside for things like BeatStars is that there's already that infrastructure in place, and so it's really easy to get started quickly. And that is one downside for having your own beat store, is that the barrier to entry is a lot higher. It takes a lot more time to get up and running, and it takes a lot more time to actually get that traffic to your site, specifically in Google search. So though I do think it is definitely worth it, that is definitely something to keep in mind. If you're just getting started and you're looking to make money as soon as you can, I would probably recommend starting out with going through a site like BeatStars, because it's already there. It's all very simple. It's easy to get started. It doesn't take long to create your own page and to upload some beats, and it's easy to collaborate with other artists and producers there as well. All of that infrastructure is already there, and it takes a lot of the headache out of selling beats if you want to go the custom route of selling beats. Now, if you do want to go the route where you create your own beat store, which I do recommend you do eventually, maybe not initially, but eventually, it would be nice to have for every producer, in my opinion. You could go through something like Shopify, or you could go through Squarespace. I personally go through Squarespace, but I know a lot of other producers go through Shopify because it's super easy. It's pretty simple. It's not hard to get started. Truly, on either platform, it's pretty straightforward to get started and doesn't take a whole lot of time. But those are two platforms that are very user-friendly and very easy to create a site on. Now, this video is not sponsored by either Squarespace or Shopify, but those two sites, from my experience, are easy to use and easy to get started on as a producer as well. One thing that you might want to note is that Squarespace doesn't necessarily have the best infrastructure in place to sell digital assets, but they do still have the ability to do it. And it's not too hard to get set up. It's just not as easy, not as intuitive, and not as streamlined as it might be on Shopify. Now, within BeatStars, there are two very popular ways to make money from what I've seen. A lot of producers either make sample packs and they sell those sample packs to other producers and they split royalties with those producers. And that is one popular way that a lot of producers make a very generous income through BeatStars. One example of this is Kavi. He's in his 20s, but he's been producing and grinding for a very long time, and he makes over 6 figures annually as a producer, and he's worked with some of the biggest producers on the platform, and he has grown a substantial income through doing this. Another thing that you could do is you can make and sell type beats through BeatStars as well. That's another very popular thing, and a lot of producers, including Dilly, Caddy, and Rob Evan, have done this very successfully. Another positive thing through this is that there's a lot of big artists that immediately go to BeatStars for their beats. So the likelihood of getting discovered as a producer is pretty high if you continue to be consistent and very diligent over the years, and you continually pursue making very high quality beats and putting out very high quality beats on a very regular basis. Now, one thing that I do want to say to all of you producers is, just like anything, every single one of these avenues to make money is a grind. Building a YouTube channel takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of intentionality, it takes a lot of diligence, and you have to do it for a long time consistently until you can grow that into something that can make you a lot of money. Same thing when it comes to making custom beats. It takes a lot of time. You have to gain that momentum. But after you're diligent over a lot of time, you can see a lot of exponential growth if you stick with it. It's the same way when it comes to putting out songs on streaming platforms. It's the same way when it comes to making and selling custom tracks and building relationships with artists. Regardless of whatever path you choose, don't try to spread yourself too thin. Try to focus on one thing and try to do that thing really, really well for a long time. And that is where you'll find success. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit like, and make sure you share this with a producer friend that you think could really benefit from this. And I'm curious to hear, what are some ways that you guys are making money as producers? Leave that in the comments below. I'd love to talk with you there. We can share some of our methods with each other as a community. Again, I'm Daniel. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video. See ya.